On March 11, 2025, the world watched in astonishment as former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested. He was swiftly transferred to The Hague, Netherlands, to face charges at the International Criminal Court, or ICC. This unprecedented event marked the first time a former Asian head of state would stand trial at the ICC. Duterte, known for his controversial policies and fiery rhetoric, now faced accusations of crimes against humanity. Duterte's arrest sent shockwaves through the Philippines and the international community. His supporters, many of whom lauded his tough stance on crime, expressed outrage and disbelief. Critics, however, saw it as a long-awaited step towards justice for the victims of his brutal war on drugs. The world held its breath as the legal process began, the outcome of which could have far-reaching implications for international justice and accountability. The arrest followed years of investigation by the ICC into allegations of extrajudicial killings carried out during Duterte's presidency. The ICC, established to prosecute individuals for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression, had been gathering evidence since 2016. The court's decision to issue an arrest warrant signaled its belief that there was a strong enough case to proceed with a trial. Duterte's arrest marked a pivotal moment in the fight against impunity for the world's most serious crimes. It served as a stark reminder that even heads of state are not above the law and can be held accountable for their actions. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the world watched closely, eager to see if justice would be served. At the heart of the ICC's case against Duterte lay his controversial war on drugs campaign. Launched shortly after he took office in 2016, the campaign aimed to eradicate illegal drug use and trafficking in the Philippines. However, it quickly drew international condemnation for its brutality and alleged disregard for human rights. The ICC accused Duterte of crimes against humanity, specifically murder, in connection with the thousands of deaths that occurred during the war on drugs. Human rights groups estimated that over 20,000 people, mostly from impoverished communities, were killed in extrajudicial killings by police and vigilantes. The ICC argued that these killings were systematic and widespread, constituting a crime against humanity. The ICC's jurisdiction over the Philippines, however, was a point of contention. The Philippines had withdrawn from the Rome Statute, the treaty that established the ICC, in 2019. However, the ICC maintained that it retained jurisdiction over alleged crimes committed during the time the Philippines was a member state, which included Duterte's presidency. The charges against Duterte were grave, and the evidence presented by the ICC was compelling. The court's case rested on witness testimonies, police reports, and other documentation that pointed to a pattern of extrajudicial killings sanctioned by the highest levels of government. The prosecution argued that Duterte's rhetoric, which often encouraged violence against suspected drug users and dealers, created a climate of impunity that allowed these killings to take place. Duterte's arrest ignited a firestorm of reactions in the Philippines, exposing deep divisions within the nation. His supporters, many of whom credited him with reducing crime and instilling discipline, took to the streets in protest. They denounced the ICC's actions as a violation of Philippine sovereignty and an affront to their democratically elected leader. Rallies in support of Duterte were particularly prominent in his stronghold of Davao City and throughout Mindanao. Many of his supporters viewed the arrest as a politically motivated attack orchestrated by his opponents. They argued that the ICC was biased against Duterte and that the Philippines was capable of handling the allegations domestically. On the other side of the spectrum, human rights advocates, victims' families, and critics of Duterte's administration celebrated his arrest as a victory for justice. They had long accused Duterte of human rights abuses and called for him to be held accountable for the killings under his watch. The arrest, they believed, offered a glimmer of hope that justice would finally be served. The political elite in the Philippines were also divided on the issue. Some politicians, including members of Duterte's own party, expressed support for the former president, while others condemned his actions and called for him to face the charges against him. The arrest further deepened existing political rifts and fueled uncertainty about the future of the country. As Duterte's case moved forward, it faced a number of legal hurdles and an uncertain future. His legal team vowed to fight the charges vigorously, arguing that the ICC lacked jurisdiction and that the arrest was illegal. They planned to challenge the ICC's authority at every turn, potentially dragging out the legal process for years. One of the key legal challenges centered around the Philippines' withdrawal from the Rome Statute. Duterte's lawyers argued that the withdrawal effectively nullified the ICC's jurisdiction over the Philippines and its citizens. The ICC, however, maintained its stance that it retained jurisdiction over crimes committed during the time the Philippines was a member state. Another challenge stemmed from the Philippine government's stance on the ICC's involvement. The government, while not actively obstructing the ICC's investigation, maintained that it would not cooperate with the court. This lack of cooperation could potentially hinder the ICC's ability to gather evidence and build a strong case against Duterte. Despite the legal challenges, the ICC's pursuit of justice for the alleged crimes committed during Duterte's war on drugs remained resolute. The court's determination to hold those responsible accountable, regardless of their position or power, sent a powerful message to the world that impunity for grave crimes would not be tolerated. The world watched and waited as the legal battle unfolded, the outcome of which could have profound implications for international justice and the fight against impunity.